What if I told you that just 1 hour a day could completely change your life? Not a lifetime. Not 10 hours of work. Not endless sacrifice. Just one focused hour, every single day. Think about Warren Buffett. He is one of the richest men in the world. What is his secret? He reads 5 to 6 hours every day. He once said, "The more you learn, the more you earn." Bill Gates is the same. He reads about 50 books every year. Not because he is bored, but because he knows that knowledge compounds. 1 hour of reading today becomes power tomorrow. Steve Jobs had another method. He took long walks alone. During those hours, he thought deeply. The iPhone was not born in one day. It came from years of focused thinking. And Oprah Winfrey. She begins her mornings with reading, journaling, and reflection. Not for hours and hours, but for enough time to set her mind on fire. Different people. Different methods. But one truth. Greatness is built one focused hour at a time. Now imagine what this means for you. 1 hour a day, only for English. Not scrolling social media. Not watching videos passively. But real, focused practice. If you give English that 1 hour, every day, you will change. You will speak. You will understand. You will grow. Welcome, my friends, to Story Vibe English. Here, we don't just tell stories. We use stories to transform your English. And to transform your life. Now, I want you to stop and think. What do you do with your hours each day? Are you building your future? Or are you wasting your time? Write your answer in the comments right now. Don't just listen. Don't just think. Act. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Story Vibe English. Because in this journey, you will hear more real examples, more strategies, and more lessons that can completely change the way you learn English, and the way you live your life. Many people believe they don't have time. They say, "I'm too busy. I work all day. I have no free hour." But look closely. How many hours are lost to television, social media, or meaningless scrolling? Oprah Winfrey once said, "You can have it all. Just not all at once." Her mornings are sacred. She protects that first hour of the day. It's not a big sacrifice. It's a choice to use time with intention. Warren Buffett does not run from meeting to meeting. He protects his schedule. He keeps long, empty blocks of time. Why? Because reading, thinking, and reflecting are more valuable than being busy. Bill Gates once locked himself in a cabin for a think week. For 7 days, he read books, research papers, and ideas. That single week helped him see the future of technology. But here's the key, it was built on his daily habit of reading for 1 hour. Even Barack Obama, during his presidency, protected time for reading and exercise. He understood that 1 hour of focus made him sharper for the other 23. So what does this mean for you? It means that the excuse, "I don't have time," is never true. Time is always there. The question is, do you control your time, or does your time control you? And if you give English that single hour every day, you don't just practice words. You train focus. You train consistency. You build the same habit that made leaders, innovators, and billionaires. So, let me ask you. Where will your 1 hour go today? To distraction, or to your future? Write your answer in the comments. Don't lie to yourself. If yesterday you wasted it, say it. If today you want to change, say it. Because speaking the truth is the first step to progress. So how should you use this 1 hour? It is not about sitting with a book and pretending to study. It is about focused action. Let's look at examples. Elon Musk, when he was young, read 2 books every single day. He didn't read for entertainment. He read to understand, to connect, to build. That habit gave him the knowledge to start SpaceX and Tesla. Mark Zuckerberg, before creating Facebook, practiced programming for hours each day. He didn't build the company in one step. He built it line by line, hour by hour. Now imagine you. 1 hour with English every day. What could it look like? First 20 minutes, reading. not rushing. Not translating every word, but reading to understand ideas. Choose books, articles, or even speeches by great people. Next 20 minutes, listening and shadowing. Put on a podcast or a speech. Listen once. Then listen again, repeating sentence by sentence. This is how you train your mouth, your ears, and your memory at the same time. Final 20 minutes, writing or speaking. Take what you read and heard, and put it into your own words. Write it down in a notebook. Or record yourself speaking on your phone. That is 1 hour. Simple. Focused. Powerful. Do this for 30 days, and you will already feel the change. Not perfect fluency, but sharper ears, a quicker tongue, and a stronger confidence. Remember, Bill Gates did not become Bill Gates overnight. He became Bill Gates because he invested his hours and never wasted them. If you do the same with English, 1 hour a day will make you unstoppable. Many people wait for motivation. They say, "I'll study when I feel ready. I'll practice when I'm in the mood." But the truth is simple, motivation does not last. Discipline does. Take Jocko Willink, a former Navy SEAL commander. He wakes up every day at 4:30 in the morning. Not because he loves it. Not because it's easy. But because discipline gives him freedom. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, begins his day before sunrise. He answers emails, reads reports, and exercises before most people open their eyes. Why? Because that 1 hour of discipline creates control over the rest of the day. Now, apply this to English. You will not always feel excited to study. Some days, you will be tired. Some days, your mind will say, "Not today. Maybe tomorrow." But remember, tomorrow is the favorite word of procrastination. Tomorrow never comes. Only today matters. If you can sit down for just 1 hour, even when you don't want to, that is the moment you win. Not against English, but against yourself. And once you learn to win that small battle every day, your fluency will grow naturally. Because fluency is not a miracle. It is the reward for discipline. Some people think, "I work too much. I don't have time to learn." But history shows the opposite. The busiest people often learn the most. Elon Musk worked 80 to 100 hours a week building his companies. Yet he still spent hours reading and learning about physics, rockets, and engineering. Without that study, SpaceX would never exist. Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, was rejected from dozens of jobs. Even KFC refused him. But during those years of rejection, he spent his time learning English. He practiced with tourists on the street, just 1 hour a day. That hour became the foundation of his global empire. Oprah Winfrey built her career while constantly reading, studying, and reflecting. She once said that books were a way to escape poverty and open the world. Even during her busiest days, she gave herself that time to learn. The lesson is clear. You are never too busy to learn. The question is not, do you have time? The question is, do you make time? And when you give English just 1 hour a day, you are not taking time away from life. You are adding more life to your time. Success is not built on one giant effort. It is built on repetition. The same action, done again and again, until it becomes natural. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, failed thousands of times. But he kept repeating his experiments. Each failure was not wasted time. It was one step closer to success. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player, once said, "I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. I have failed over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed." Bruce Lee had a similar philosophy. He said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." Now think about English. 1 hour a day is not about learning something new every time. It is about repeating. Hearing the same sounds. Saying the same sentences. Writing the same structures. At first it feels boring. At first it feels slow. But then it becomes natural. And that is how fluency is born. Greatness is not in the size of the effort. It is in the consistency of the practice. The most successful people protect their mornings and evenings. Why? Because these are the hours of silence. The hours without distractions. Apple CEO Tim Cook wakes up at 4:30 in the morning. While the world sleeps, he reads, thinks, and prepares. That early hour gives him control before chaos begins. Oprah Winfrey starts her mornings with reading, meditation, and journaling. She does not jump into social media. She sets her mind before the day sets her mood. Benjamin Franklin, centuries ago, followed a strict routine. He asked himself every morning, "What good shall I do today?" And every evening, "What good have I done today?" Now imagine this with English. 1 hour in the morning, reading and shadowing while your mind is fresh. Or 1 hour in the evening, reflection, writing, speaking, while the day is quiet. These rituals are not about time. They are about power. Because the first hour shapes your day. And the last hour prepares your tomorrow. If you guard just one of these hours and give it to English, you will not only learn a language. You will build a habit of greatness. Focus is the secret weapon of high achievers. It is not about doing more. It is about removing distractions and doing less, but with power. Steve Jobs once said, "Focus is about saying no." At Apple, he cut projects, reduced options, and simplified designs. That is why the iPhone became iconic, because it was focused, not overloaded. Bill Gates follows the same principle. He protects hours for deep work, no calls, no meetings, no interruptions. In those hours, he can read, think, and build ideas that change the world. J.K. Rowling, while writing Harry Potter, locked herself in quiet cafes. No television, no endless noise. Just her pen, her notebook, and her focus. Now imagine your 1 hour of English. If your phone is buzzing, if social media is open, if people are talking, you are not truly studying. You are dividing your brain into pieces. But if you switch everything off, close the door, and give 100% of your attention to English, that 1 hour is worth more than 10 hours of distracted work. Focus is a multiplier. It turns minutes into progress. It turns hours into transformation. Guard your focus. Because focus is the bridge between your time and your success. Big success often comes from small, repeated actions. Not from sudden miracles. Not from one lucky day. But from habits built over years. Warren Buffett still lives by a simple habit. He spends hours reading every day. Even with billions of dollars, he keeps this routine. Knowledge compounds like money, little by little, it grows. Jerry Seinfeld, one of the most famous comedians, shared his "don't break the chain" method. He wrote jokes every single day. He marked each day on a calendar. The goal was not one perfect joke. The goal was not breaking the chain. Serena Williams, one of the greatest athletes, practiced simple drills every day. The same serve. The same movement. Again and again. That repetition turned her into a champion. Now, what does this mean for English? Your habit does not need to be complex. It can be 1 hour of reading, 1 hour of listening, 1 hour of speaking practice. The secret is not the difficulty. The secret is not breaking the chain. If you give English 1 hour today, and again tomorrow, and again the next day, soon it will not feel like effort. It will feel like who you are. Greatness is not built in explosions. It is built in quiet, daily choices. No one succeeds alone. Behind every great person, there are teachers, mentors, and guides. Oprah Winfrey often speaks about her teachers. She says that one good teacher changed the course of her life. That teacher made her believe she had a voice worth hearing. Steve Jobs had mentors who guided him in design and business. He was brilliant, yes, but he also listened, asked questions, and learned from those ahead of him. Mark Zuckerberg had long conversations with Steve Jobs himself. He visited Jobs at his home, asking for advice on focus, on building, on vision. Even Alexander the Great, the most powerful conqueror of his time, had Aristotle as his teacher. Greatness was passed from mind to mind. So what does this mean for English? It means you must not isolate yourself. You can learn faster by listening to those who already walk the path. Your mentor can be a teacher. It can be a podcast host. It can be a book written by a master. It can even be shadowing speeches of great leaders in English. When you learn from the best, you don't just copy their words. You absorb their rhythm, their mindset, their discipline. Remember this. Self-study is powerful. But guided study is faster. Even 1 hour a day, if spent with the right teacher, can take you further than 10 hours alone. Discipline is freedom. Without discipline, time controls you. With discipline, you control time. Benjamin Franklin was famous for his strict daily schedule. He asked himself every morning, what good shall I do today? And every evening, what good have I done today? This habit of self-control shaped one of the greatest minds in history. Elon Musk divides his day into 5-minute blocks. Every small task has a time. He does not allow hours to vanish into nothing. That extreme focus is how he runs multiple billion-dollar companies at once. Richard Feynman, Nobel Prize winner in physics, was known for his playful style. But even he said, the person who controls his time, controls his learning. He set aside fixed hours only for study, nothing else. Now think about your 1 hour for English. If you don't guard it, the world will steal it. Your phone will steal it. Social media will steal it. Other people's demands will steal it. But if you protect that 1 hour with discipline, you turn it into gold. No interruptions. No excuses. Just focus. Discipline is not punishment. It is a gift to your future self. Every time you sit down, even when you don't want to, you are giving your future self a better life. The earlier you start, the bigger the result. Because time is not only money. Time is growth. And growth compounds. Warren Buffett began reading books about business when he was just a boy. By the time he was a teenager, he already understood the stock market better than most adults. His wealth did not appear overnight. It grew because he started early and never stopped. Elon Musk, as a child, read science fiction and physics books for hours every day. By the age of 12, he had already written and sold his first computer game. That early start gave him the foundation for everything that came later. Oprah Winfrey began speaking in front of audiences when she was still a little girl in church. She practiced her voice, her presence, her confidence. Those early moments created the woman who would later inspire millions. Now, you might say, but I am not a child anymore. I am too late. That is not true. The truth is, the best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. If you give English 1 hour a day starting now, your future self will thank you. Every day you wait is a day lost. Every day you start is a seed planted. The earlier you begin, the stronger the tree will grow. Some people think, it's too late for me. I'm too old. My time has passed. But history is full of people who proved the opposite. Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC, started his chicken business at the age of 65. Before that, he had failed in many jobs. But 1 hour a day of cooking and selling turned into a global empire. Ray Kroc, the man who built McDonald's, was over 50 when he discovered the small restaurant that would become the biggest fast food chain in the world. He was not young. He was not early. But he was determined. Laura Ingalls Wilder published her first book, Little House in the Big Woods, at the age of 65. Her stories later became classics for generations of children. Vera Wang entered the fashion industry at 40. Today she is one of the most famous designers in the world. The lesson is clear. It is never too late to begin. Age is not the barrier. The real barrier is waiting. So if you are 20, start now. If you are 40, start now. If you are 60, start now. The power of 1 hour is always the same. With English, 1 year from today, you will either regret that you waited, or celebrate that you began. The choice is yours. Some people think, it's too late for me. I'm too old. My time has passed. But history is full of people who proved the opposite. Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC, started his chicken business at the age of 65. Before that, he had failed in many jobs. But 1 hour a day of cooking and selling turned into a global empire. Ray Kroc, the man who built McDonald's, was over 50 when he discovered the small restaurant that would become the biggest fast food chain in the world. He was not young. He was not early. But he was determined. Laura Ingalls Wilder published her first book, Little House in the Big Woods, at the age of 65. Her stories later became classics for generations of children. Vera Wang entered the fashion industry at 40. Today she is one of the most famous designers in the world. The lesson is clear. It is never too late to begin. Age is not the barrier. The real barrier is waiting. So if you are 20, start now. If you are 40, start now. Big change never happens in one moment. It happens through small steps, repeated every day. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "The future depends on what you do today. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Today." Jerry Seinfeld's secret was not writing the best joke in the world. It was writing a joke every single day. One line at a time. One brick at a time. Until he became one of the most successful comedians in history. Warren Buffett compares learning to compound interest. 1 hour today seems small. But over weeks, months, and years, it multiplies into something enormous. Serena Williams did not become a champion overnight. She practiced her serve every day. The same motion, thousands of times. Small actions, big results. Now think about your English. One new word today. One short podcast today. One page of reading today. It may feel small. But small is powerful when it is consistent. In 1 week, you feel a little progress. In 1 month, you notice new confidence. In 1 year, people notice a new you. Remember. The mountain is climbed step by step. Fluency is built word by word. And every hour counts. If you are 60, start now. The power of 1 hour is always the same. With English, 1 year from today, you will either regret that you waited. Or celebrate that you began. The choice is yours. Success is never an accident. It is planned, designed, and built with clear goals. Benjamin Franklin created a system of 13 virtues. He tracked his progress every day in a notebook. His life was not random, it was guided by clear intention. Elon Musk is known for his first principles thinking. He does not just hope. He sets a vision, travel to Mars, build reusable rockets, create electric cars. And then he breaks the vision into daily actions. Oprah Winfrey speaks often about intention. She says, clarity is power. When you know what you want, you can move mountains. Every show she produced, every project she built, began with a clear why. Now think about your English. If your goal is only, I want to speak better, it is too vague. But if your goal is clear, I want to speak English for 15 minutes with confidence by December. Then your 1 hour has direction. The plan can be simple. 20 minutes reading. 20 minutes listening and repeating. 20 minutes writing or speaking. Each day you follow the plan, you move closer to the goal. Without a plan, your hour becomes weak. With a plan, your hour becomes unstoppable. Remember. A ship without a destination will drift forever. But a ship with a clear map will always reach its port. Steve Jobs once said, "Focus is about saying no." When he returned to Apple, the company had dozens of products. He cut almost all of them. He left only a few. The result? Apple became one of the most valuable companies in the world. Bill Gates did the same with his time. He said no to parties, distractions, and even some friendships. Why? Because every yes to distraction is a no to your future. Warren Buffett has a rule. The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. So what does this mean for you? It means you must cut what does not serve you. Do you spend hours scrolling through videos? Cut it. Do you waste time in conversations that give you nothing? Cut them. Do you start 10 apps and never finish one lesson? Cut that too. Your 1 hour of English must be pure. No phone. No noise. No excuses. Because every time you say no to waste, you say yes to progress. And remember this. It is not about how many things you do. It is about how many things you remove. Clarity comes from subtraction, not addition. Show me your friends, and I will show you your future. Your environment shapes your habits, your thoughts, your results. Oprah Winfrey said, "Surround yourself only with people who will lift you higher." Her success was not built alone. It was built with mentors, colleagues, and friends who supported her vision. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak built Apple together in a garage. Jobs had ideas, Wozniak had technical genius. Together, they created something neither could do alone. Bill Gates and Paul Allen were childhood friends. They shared a passion for computers, worked late nights, and built Microsoft. Their environment was not parties or distractions. It was a circle of focus and innovation. Even Warren Buffett often says his greatest decision was choosing the right partner, Charlie Munger. Together they thought, debated, and grew for decades. Now think about your English. If you spend time with people who never practice, who laugh at mistakes, who waste their hours, you will do the same. But if you spend time, even online, with learners, teachers, and communities that push you, your 1 hour will be stronger. Because energy is contagious. If you cannot change your friends, change your circle. If you cannot find a circle, create one. Even one study partner can double your progress. Remember, alone you can move. Together you can fly. Your brain is part of your body. If your body is weak, tired, or sick, your mind cannot shine. Steve Jobs often spoke about walking. Many of his biggest ideas came during long walks. Movement gave him clarity. Barack Obama, even as president, protected time for exercise almost every day. Why? Because energy creates focus, and focus creates results. Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin, says, "I can achieve twice as much in a day if I keep fit." For him, sports were not just fun. They were fuel. Even Warren Buffett, known for sitting and reading all day, changed his habits later in life. He began exercising regularly because he realized, without health, wealth means nothing. Now think about English. You can sit for 1 hour, but if you are exhausted, your brain will resist. But if you sleep well, eat well, and move your body, your 1 hour becomes 10 times more powerful. Try this. Go for a walk while listening to an English podcast. Do a few minutes of stretching before you start reading. Stand up and shadow English sentences out loud, using your whole body. You will notice. Your memory is sharper. Your focus is deeper. Your results are faster. Health is not separate from learning. Health is the foundation of learning. Reading is one of the most powerful habits in history. It is the door to other people's minds, to new worlds, to unlimited ideas. Warren Buffett spends most of his day reading. He once said, "That's how knowledge builds up, like compound interest. Not in one day. Not in 1 week. But page after page, hour after hour." Bill Gates is famous for carrying books everywhere. Even on vacations, he reads. He says, "Reading is still the main way that I both learn new things and test my understanding." 50 books a year, that's almost 1 book each week. Oprah Winfrey created a global book club. She believed books were more than entertainment. They were tools for growth and healing. She introduced millions of people to the power of daily reading. Elon Musk once answered the question, "How did you learn about rockets?" His reply was simple, "I read books." Now think about English. Every page you read is a training ground. You are not just learning words. You are absorbing structure, rhythm, culture, and thought. 1 hour a day of reading in English can transform your brain. At first it is hard. At first you translate. But slowly, English becomes the language of your thoughts. Choose wisely. Not only textbooks, but biographies, speeches, articles by great minds. When you read in English, you think in English. And when you think in English, fluency follows naturally. Remember, books are mentors. And 1 hour a day with a book can be worth more than years of waiting. Writing is thinking made visible. When you write, you do not just record ideas, you shape them, refine them, and make them real. Leonardo da Vinci filled thousands of pages with sketches, notes, and questions. Those notebooks were his laboratory of the mind. Many of his inventions and discoveries came from the habit of writing daily. Benjamin Franklin kept journals to measure his progress. He tracked his habits, his virtues, and his mistakes. Through writing, he built self-awareness and self-discipline. Oprah Winfrey has spoken for years about journaling. She calls it one of the most important tools in her personal growth. Writing gave her clarity and power. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, left us meditations, personal notes he never planned to publish. They were reminders to himself, written day by day. Yet today they inspire millions. Now imagine what this means for English. 1 hour a day can include writing in a notebook. Not essays. Not perfection. Just daily notes in English. Write about your day. Write about what you read or listened to. Write about your dreams and goals. With every page, your mind learns to think in English. Your sentences become sharper. Your ideas become clearer. Remember. What you do not write, you forget. What you write, you build into your memory. So pick up a notebook. Let English flow from your mind to the page. Day by day, word by word, line by line. Fluency will grow. Great leaders are remembered not only for their ideas, but for their voices. Their words had power because they practiced speaking them out loud. Steve Jobs was a master of presentations. Every Apple event was rehearsed for hours, sometimes days. He shaped every pause, every gesture, every word. That is why his speeches felt like magic. Oprah Winfrey built her empire on communication. Her interviews and shows were not just conversations. They were performances of presence, empathy, and clarity. She practiced her voice until it became her strongest tool. Martin Luther King Jr. changed history with a single speech, "I have a dream." But that moment was not born in one day. It came from years of preaching, practicing, and speaking out loud again and again. Even Winston Churchill, one of the greatest orators, had a speech impediment as a child. He trained his voice daily, repeating sentences in front of a mirror, until his words carried nations. Now imagine what this means for English. 1 hour a day can include speaking out loud. Read a page and repeat it with your voice. Shadow a speech from a great leader. Record yourself, listen back, and improve. At first, your voice may feel weak. At first, mistakes will come. But with practice, your English will not only be correct. It will be powerful. Remember. Fluency is not just in the mind. Fluency is in the mouth. And the more you train your voice, the stronger your confidence will grow. Greatness is not luck. It is not magic. It is one choice, repeated again and again. How you use your hour. Warren Buffett built his empire by reading every day. Bill Gates shaped the future by learning every day. Oprah Winfrey lifted millions by reflecting every day. Steve Jobs changed the world by focusing every day. 1 hour may look small. But 1 hour every day builds the life you dream of. And for you, that hour can mean fluency. That hour can open doors to jobs, travel, friendships, freedom. That hour can be the difference between who you are today and who you want to become. So the question is simple. Will you waste your hour? Or will you use it? This was Story Vibe English. Here, stories are not only for learning. They are for living. Now it is your turn. Write in the comments. What will you give your 1 hour to today? Will you let it slip away, or will you invest it in your future? Don't just watch. Don't just listen. Answer. Because the people who act, even with one small step, are the ones who win. And if you are serious about change, make sure you subscribe to Story Vibe English. Because here, every story gives you the tools to build your English and to build your life. Your hour starts now.